Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk some boxing. You know, Boxing Beats and Rhymes said something so true. He was flashing all these overhyped fighters on his screen while he was talking. He said, it's really bad and in poor taste when people start to overhype a fighter and start to make them bigger than they really are. And he wishes that just to shut up these fans and these people who are not into boxing for the love of boxing, but into fandom and into political agendas, that boxer would get knocked the fuck out so that these people would shut up. I really echo your sentiments. Boxing Beats and Rhymes. It's supposed to be about boxing. It's not supposed to be about any one individual. And if they have performed worthy of the accolades, it's a different story till they did not perform according to those accolades. Let me give you an example. Now, we know that pound for pound rankings to some degree is subjective. But even so, the essence, the spirit of pound for pound is that given all things being equal in terms of weight, this fighter would likely beat every other fighter in the world because of his skills, his mentality, his ability. That any fighter put in front of him, he would beat. ESPN elected Gennady Golovkin as pound for pound number one in the world while Andre Ward was in existence and had beaten Sergey Kovalev. And they have maintained that since that point in time. Andre Ward has never been pound for pound number one on their list. So we have Gennady Golovkin as number one pound for pound in the world, then Andre Ward as number two. Then we have Vasily Lomachenko as number three. Then we have Sergey Kovalev as number four, even though he lost to Andre Ward, because everyone felt that Sergey Kovalev won that fight. And they never changed it from that point, even when Sergey Kovalev suffered a stoppage defeat to Andre Ward. Roman Gonzalez is still number 5 on the list, even though he lost to Sir Rungvisai and then was stopped by Sir Rungvisai. He's still number 5 on their list. Terence Crawford is number 6. And Canelo Alvarez, I'll stop with him, is number 7. Think about what I'm saying. How is a guy that's stopped ahead of Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford? In fact, we have 2 guys that are stopped. Sergey Kovalev and Roman Gonzalez was stopped. And they're ahead of these 2 guys. ESPN has not updated their rankings. How's a guy that has 8 fights under his belt, or 10 fights I think now under his belt, Vasily Lomachenko, ahead of Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? How? Yeah, he's matched tough. But you can't put this guy ahead of these 2 guys. Let's go on. See, it's about partisanship. It's not about anymore meritocracy. It's not on merit that we're really judging fighters anymore. Let's move on. When we look at the ring has joined in this idiotic set of rankings now. With Andre Ward gone, Gennady Golovkin somehow is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world according to them. Then comes Terence Crawford. Then comes Vasily Lomachenko. Guillermo Rigondeaux is the next one. And then Sergey Kovalev. And then Canelo Alvarez. Right? 1 position higher than before because Roman Gonzalez is no longer number 1 pound for pound in the world. Like people were saying all along, and now it's verified and come to pass, it seems as though Roman Gonzalez was just occupying the spot that their designated political standing candidate Gennady Golovkin was supposed to take. How is this guy number 1 pound for pound in the world, and he fought to a draw with Canelo Alvarez? And he had a very competitive fight with Danny Jacobs. Andre Ward fought against Sergey Kovalev. A competitive fight, the first one. The second one, a stoppage. Canelo Alvarez has faced far greater competition than Gennady Golovkin. Why is he number 1 pound for pound in the world and not Canelo? Canelo's fought better competition than every single one of these guys ahead of him. He's only lost to the number 1 fighter in the world. In fact, one can argue the best ever to do it. That's the only loss he has. None of these guys have faced Floyd Mayweather. None of them have Floyd Mayweather on their resume. or a fighter of Floyd Mayweather's stature on their resume. None of them have a fighter of Miguel Cotto's stature on their resume. Not one of these guys. You can say Sergey Kovalev, he faced Andre Ward, which is somewhat in the stature of Floyd Mayweather, but he was stopped by him in his second fight. So, I don't understand how these guys rank what they rank. So I went to BoxRec, which is an automated system, And BoxRec, out of 22,067 boxers in the world, it uses an algorithm to rank fighters. And it's weird because you wouldn't want an automated system to rank your fighters, but that's what we have. And strangely enough, this animated system actually does a better job of ranking fighters than people do. And so, through a point system, Alvarez is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, where he should be. Terence Crawford is the next pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Even though I argue, in terms of level of competition faced, he's, though more consistent than Gennady Golovkin, hasn't faced the level of competition Gennady Golovkin has faced. So, you could switch those two guys. But even so, how is it that Vasily Lomachenko is ranked so high? I'm not saying he can't be in the top 10, but I'm pretty sure there are fighters who have fought far superior competition than Vasily Lomachenko has faced in their careers, because you have to look at the spans of their careers. Anthony Joshua has faced the #1 heavyweight in the world in Vladimir Klitschko, a legend. How is he not ranked ahead of Vasily Lomachenko just based on that merit? He's fought a Hall of Famer and an all-time great, and he beat him. And he didn't cheat, like Tyson Fury did. Just some good questions. Keith Thurman is a unified welterweight champion. I'm not saying he should be ranked higher than Vasily Lomachenko per se, but he should be higher up this list. He's done a lot more than Miguel Belchelt and Jeff Horn and Luis Neri, but it is what it is. Even guys like Danny Garcia, Erislandy Lara, Manny Pacquiao, Adonis Stevenson, all these guys have done more than Vasily Lomachenko has done. Lomachenko has been matched hard in his career, and he's done a lot accomplished in his early career, but he's not on the level of these other guys who have had an extensive career where they've proven themselves. Now let me show you how these rankings make no sense. The Ring and ESPN. Look at Gennady Golovkin's resume. See, you can talk about how spectacular he performs, but you have to ask yourself, who has he been performing against? He has not been spectacular against Saul Canelo Alvarez. In fact, he looked horrible against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Against Danny Jacobs, he looked, meh. And I still thought Danny Jacobs won that fight, even though he was knocked down by Gennady Golovkin. Against Kell Brook, he looked less than ordinary with a guy 2 divisions lower than him. This fight was not supposed to be even competitive in any way, shape, and form, seeing Gennady Golovkin had every single advantage at his disposal. The other fighters, if they are B-level, that would be saying a lot. Dominic Wade was not a B-level fighter. He struggled against the middleweight champion of the world, who had been a long-reigning middleweight champion of the world. I argue that guy beat him to get the interim title. He then fought David Lemieux, who was a world champion but is a C-plus level fighter. Willie Monroe, C-plus level fighter. Martin Murray, good contender, possibly B-minus. Marco Antonio Rubio, C to D level fighter. Daniel Gill, at the time he faced him, C to D level fighter. And none of these guys here are A-level in any way, shape, or form. Lots of fights, but no top-tier competition. You look at Terrence Crawford. He fought some champions, Julius Ndongo being a unified champion, but the guy technically is not even on a B level. At best, he's probably C+ level. And the sad thing about this is, the dude has 2 championships, he's long and everything, but that's the best you can offer. Felix Diaz was solid, B level fighter. John Molina, D level. Victor Postol, A level, no experience. Hank Lundy, D level. Derry Jean, B level. Thomas Delory, C level. Raimundo Beltran, C level. Uracus Gamboa, A level. Ricky Burns, B level. B-, B. Okay? These are the guys he faced. Ricky Burns being the guy with a lot of experience, as well as Uracus Gamboa. That's Terrence Crawford's resume. Lomachenko, he's faced a number of good opponents, but Mariaga is a B level, C level fighter, sorry. Jason Sosa, C level. Nicholas Walters, he's a high B level. Okay, he's a B level fighter. Roman Martinez, C level. None of these other guys, the names I can't pronounce, they're C level. Gary Russell Jr. is A level, didn't have much experience. Orlando Salido is a strong C level, C+ level, B- level fighter, like Marcos Maidana, rough and rugged. That's what you were dealing with, okay? Now, he was matched tough in the beginning of his career, so you have to factor that in, but no A-level fighters. His only A-level fighter he's about to face is Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's his first A-level. And I really undersized Guillermo Rigondeaux at that. Rigondeaux's got 1 A-level fighter on his entire list. He's going to be facing Lomachenko next. And that is Nonito Donaire. That's it. Sergio Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev fought a Hall of Famer, 2 Hall of Famers, I'm sure, Andre Ward and also Bernard Hopkins. Everybody else is C to D level fighters. Even Jean Pascal, who's probably B+ level. B level, sorry, not B+ level. Everybody else is C to D level. That's the guy's resume. You look at Canelo Alvarez's resume. This is a totally different resume to everybody else. He's got Gennady Golovkin, who's A level. He's got Miguel Cotto, who's A level. He's got Erislandy Lara, who's B level. He's got Floyd Mayweather, which is A level. He's got Austin Trout, which is B level. Okay, Shane Mosley, C level at the time. He faced him. Okay, everybody else is C and D level. Okay, but the point is, this dude's got more A-level opponents he's faced than anybody else in this present era. You cannot be shaking this guy to the curve. This guy needs to be top ranked because it's the level of competition you're facing. You can't just only talk about how his performance is. You have to look at who he's facing. That's how you know. If you're fighting bums, you're going to knock them all out and look spectacular. But if you're facing top tier, top competition, and you're sparking them out, now that's impressive. Alvarez came up in weight to face a bigger opponent and put on the performance he did. That calls for him to be pound for pound number 1. Especially in the fact that the opponent didn't hurt him, didn't touch him, and then on top of that, he's the one doing the highlight reels. You got to give the guy credit where his credit is due. So I don't understand the politics going on in this place, man. The politics it stinks. And then the people who are supposed to be crying foul, they're playing the same political game because they hate the certain fighter. This pound for pound rankings is a joke. They need to update it, ESPN. And the ring, you guys are becoming more and more a joke for me. I don't even look to you guys anymore. I go to BoxRec now. The ring, you're a joke. You're a joke. You're a fallacy. How is Errol Spence ranked number 9 in the world in terms of your pound for pound rankings? That's what I want to know. Okay? You got all these guys, Naona Inu. What's he doing ranked so high above Errol Spence? Who he faced? Mikey Garcia's in the rankings after he's been retired for so long. Why is Keith Thurman not there? Why is Danny Garcia not there? I mean, I can just go on and on and on with names. Why isn't Danny Jacobs there? Why isn't Deontay Wilder there? Why isn't Anthony Joshua there? I mean, do I need to go on? I can go on forever with every single division why certain guys should be in there. We have Jorge Linares. So I don't understand the pound for pound rankings and why they are the way they are. I don't understand it. Because these guys, they're not being objective in what they're seeing. And they're going into their political narratives. And that's why I agree with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. The only way guys will get respect in this business is that they actually stop the guys or knock them out. Guys like Pacquiao, Golovkin, they're always going to get the nod out there. And people are always going to believe because they're aggressive and they come forward. That's the only reason. Here's another tidbit. And this is the hypocrisy of the business. There are people crying that, Huey Fury, he won the fight against Joseph Parker. What was Joseph Parker doing, though? Wasn't he coming forward making the fight like Gennady Golovkin was? But yet Joseph Parker lost that fight, huh? Huey Fury won the fight, right? Make this make sense. Huey Fury wasn't even landing anything like Canelo was. Huey Fury wasn't going to the body. Joseph Parker was the one going to the body with jabs to the body. At least he was landing something. But Huey Fury won that fight, right? But Canelo didn't win this fight against Golovkin. This is the hypocrisy I can't stand. With Canelo versus Erislandy Lara, everybody knows Erislandy Lara wasn't going to Canelo's body. Most of his shots were headshots. Canelo was the one going to the body. That's what made this fight close. That's what made Canelo versus Lara a fight where you could say, okay, it was close enough that you could look at it. Lara, it could kind of give it to Lara, but Canelo was coming on strong. He was the one that was really making the punches. And if you go and watch that fight in seriousness, you will see that Canelo has Lara literally running away from him in that fight. Say what you want about cutting off the ring and all of that stuff. He had him literally running from him. And there was no point in time when Canelo did not land a body shot or a headshot on Erislandy Lara. With all that movement, Erislandy Lara was still getting tagged. That's the truth. Go watch the fight again. He couldn't avoid the body shots. You can't say that for Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo does more than just move around the ring. That's why I don't like Erislandy Lara's style, but I like Guillermo Rigondeaux's style. Lara does not fight in the pocket. He can't. He has to move around the ring. He doesn't even know angles like that. He doesn't know angles like that. He can't make you miss punches and then land punches. He doesn't counter punch. So that's why I can't even understand why people talk about Canelo lost to Erislandy Lara. I just don't get it. Don't tell me about the Cuban school of boxing. You playing politics now. So because he's a Cuban, that means he must be slick and skilled? He's no Guillermo Rigondeaux. So this is the problem I have. But anyway, how can you say that Erislandy Lara won against Canelo Alvarez when he's moving excessively around the ring, in which I think Canelo should get credit for landing on Erislandy Lara, but yet you're going to turn around and tell me that Canelo lost the fight to Gennady Golovkin when he's moving around the ring too? Golovkin ain't cutting him off. He's fighting Gennady Golovkin in the center of the ring. He's bringing the fight to Gennady Golovkin. He's landing the majority of punches. He's going to Gennady Golovkin's body. He's doing all these things, but yet you're telling me Canelo does a better job of beating up Gennady Golovkin than Erislandy Lara does. He does not get touched. Erislandy Lara got touched, man. Dude got a busted eye. Plus all them body shots. What did Golovkin do to Canelo? What did he do to him? Don't tell me about no jab. Because he didn't land no jab. A real jab, a power jab, a jab to set up something. He never did that. He set up jack squat. So I don't understand why you comparing Canelo to Lara. If you're comparing Canelo to Lara, saying that just how Canelo beat Lara, Golovkin beat Canelo, then you got to show me some kind of evidence. Canelo had a black eye because Lara kept on popping him with the lead left across his right eye. There's nothing to show when you look at Gennady Golovkin popping Canelo. Nothing. In fact, the reverse is true. You look at Gennady Golovkin's face, it's swollen. But let's keep it going about the hypocrisy out here. So we had Tyson Fury versus Joseph Parker, and everybody's saying Tyson Fury was robbed. You say Erislandy Lara was robbed against Canelo. Same style, by the way. Less effective than Canelo was doing it. But nonetheless, I digress. Then we have, as if that ain't enough, we got other fighters that y'all talk about. Y'all talk about Erislandy Lara versus Paul Williams. Y'all complain Erislandy Lara was robbed. You know, Paul Williams at least landed more body shots coming down to the end of the fight on Erislandy Lara once again. But we got more examples, folks. I'm not finished. We got the fight with Guillermo Rigondeaux and the Thai fighter, and they said it was such a ugly fight, but they said that the Thai fighter, though he didn't give a, they said Guillermo Rigondeaux won that fight. Now, how you can be saying that all these guys, Rigo, who beat Nonito Donaire and was on the back foot quite a lot, but fought him also in the center of the ring, how could Guillermo outstandingly, not just clearly beat Nonito Donaire, but Canelo Alvarez didn't beat Gennady Golovkin. But let's go one more very high profile guy, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana, the first fight. How come you guys was claiming that Floyd beat Marcos Maidana 8-4? 8-4, right? Now, from all appearances, Marcos Maidana was pushing the fight. He was the aggressor in this fight. He was actually landing body punches in the fight. He was actually roughing up Floyd. But you got that fight 8-4. But yet, when Adelaide Bird says it's 10-2 for Canelo, you guys have a problem with that? Floyd Mayweather came out with a busted eye at the end of the Marcos Maidana fight. He came out with some hard shots to the body and to the head. Alright? He got touched much more in that fight than Canelo got touched by Triple G. But Canelo, no way. Canelo couldn't beat Triple G 10-2. And Floyd beats Marcos Maidana, game Marcos Maidana 8-4. Oh, 8-4 Floyd, man. 8-4, 9-3. Y'all just call numbers, man. You can't be having one standard for one fighter in boxing and another standard for another fighter in boxing when they're doing exactly the same thing. Let me tell you how much exactly the same Saul Canelo Alvarez was doing it like Floyd was doing it. And better, let me just add. One, Saul Canelo Alvarez was going to the body. Guess what Floyd was doing? Same thing with Marcos Maidana, going to the body. Canelo, he would do the same shoulder roll kind of thing, and even make GGG slip miss punches, right? Now, to the credit of Marcos Maidana, he wasn't as straightforward as GGG was. You know, he had an awkward way of throwing punches as well. So he caught Floyd a lot more than GGG caught Canelo. GGG couldn't even catch Canelo with hooks, okay? And his trademark hooks with the top of the head hooks and the hammer punch hooks and all them other hooks that he has, they wasn't catching Canelo. Because Canelo moves his body and his head. He'll sit right in the pocket with you, and he be trading shots with you. He blocking most of the punches, you missing most of your punches, and he's getting off his punches. Right? The only difference here is that Canelo, though he have a hell of a lot of power, Canelo moved up in weight to face Triple G. He ain't acclimatized to middleweight yet. He hasn't acclimatized to that thing yet. He hasn't gotten his full middleweight power yet. Whereas Floyd, when he's facing Marcos Maidana, was a bona fide welterweight, and it's Marcos Maidana who moved up to welterweight, and he acclimatized to it to face Floyd Mayweather. That's the difference. So if you think about what I'm saying, Canelo actually did something better than Floyd did against Marcos Maidana. But y'all give you did give Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. Y'all say Floyd Mayweather won that fight 8-4. All you so-called boxing purists. You know, while other people were saying Marcos Maidana beat Floyd Mayweather, it was a close fight, y'all were saying Floyd beat Marcos Maidana 8-4. 8-4? But yet, Canelo doesn't beat Gennady Golovkin 10-2? Are you serious? Are you serious? And you're talking about the pressure that Gennady Golovkin brought on the fight later on in the rounds. He was forcing Canelo. If you're forcing Canelo, then you're gonna line on the brother. You're gonna land punches on him. If you talking about he got so much pressure that Canelo could do nothing, he could mount no offense, then why is his defense on point? Why is his defense on point? See, if y'all know boxing, y'all would know. Go watch Canelo's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. Okay? Watch him face a dude who I just can't remember his name now, a black fighter who's a stick and move fighter. Go watch that fight. I can't remember his name right now. When I remember it, I actually did a video on it. Go check out my video which talks about Floyd and sticking and moving. Oh, Floyd and running. It's Floyd versus Oscar De La Hoya, and then you see this other guy, which is his name is slipping my mind right now. That dude panicked. And because he panicked, when the pressure was coming down on him, he made mistakes. And the only way you actually get a guy to make mistakes is if you put pressure on him, he's not relaxed. He don't stay composed. He'll make mistakes, and then guess what'll happen? He'll get popped. Now, Canelo was keeping his defense on point because he was relaxed. He was taking a break. That's why he could block all the punches and stuff, and he was just leaning off on the ropes, taking a rest. So when you guys was talking about the pressure was coming to Canelo so he could mount an offense, which is really ridiculous. Canelo was just waiting for Gennady Golovkin to waste his load, blow his load while he's catching the breath. And all Golovkin's doing is the same thing. He just putting pressure. That's all he can do. And he's trying to come in the same angles, trying to do the same thing. He coming off his jab, trying to throw hooks and other things. Coming off your jab ain't going to do squat. And for those people who were saying, even the trainer, Derek James, who's a trainer for Errol Spence, he was saying Gennady Golovkin needed to move to his right. Listen, man. Derek James, I know what you mean, and you're trying to talk about cutting off the ring. He couldn't cut off the ring, and there's two reasons why he couldn't cut off the ring. If he tried to move to his right, he's going to walk straight into the left hook by Canelo. That's why he stopped moving to his right, because Canelo would hook him. That's what Canelo is. That's what he does. He left hooks. He mixes it up. He makes it look like you're going to throw a left hook to the body. You go to left hook to the head. You go down to the body to cover up. You get popped to the head. You go up to the head to cover up. You get hit to the body. Canelo is a left hooker. That's all he loved to do. So if Gennady Golovkin wanted to move into the left hook and assist Canelo in hitting him, he would do that. That's why he didn't cut off the ring. And he let Canelo keep on going, sliding on to the side. And Canelo knew this. And see, Canelo can throw a left hook the same way how he can roll a punch, which is why Gennady Golovkin wasn't taking that risk. Just for those people who wasn't watching. See, I know boxing, at least enough to understand what's going on. It's a chess match going on in there. It just so happens, Gennady Golovkin, he always a step behind Canelo. Canelo was always in front. He was always first. And Gennady Golovkin was following Canelo around the ring because he didn't know what else to do. He was putting all that pressure on Canelo, hoping that Canelo would break down, get excited, panic, get anxious, and do something, make a mistake, make a move so he could read the move and then counter the move. Then it never happened. Canelo continuously made Gennady Golovkin commit, and then he'd punish him. And he just needs to do more of that in a much more clear way for people to see he's in control. But the point is, a lot of you people just don't understand boxing. Or you choose to be blind to the truth. Because there's no way in God's green earth you can tell me that a guy like Gennady Golovkin won that fight. You know this. All you people out there know this. But it's a political agenda. They needed Gennady Golovkin to be pound for pound number one, even though Gennady Golovkin doesn't care about that. They needed him to be. So the Ring magazine has him as pound for pound number one. In spite of the fact that he fought to a draw against Canelo Alvarez. How can you be pound for pound number one? You fought to a draw against a much more experienced fighter who's got a much better resume than you do. How do you become pound for pound one ahead of him? ESPN. How is Roman Gonzalez? Please tell me, how is this brother ahead of Canelo Alvarez and ahead of Terence Crawford? How? He lost his first fight. He got stopped in the second. In fact, he got knocked clean out in the second fight. How is he ahead of Canelo Alvarez? How is he ahead of Terence Crawford? Make this make sense. Agendas, man. Agendas. Man, you guys stink. You want to talk about the judging and how that stinks? No. I want to talk about the media, how you stink. How ESPN stinks. How the Ring magazine, I never thought I would think about saying this, but you stink. You stink. Imagine an automated system is doing better than you. Y'all should be ashamed, man. Shame on y'all. You guys have a great one.